What were you wrestling with? What came out of that? Anything? Yeah. Good stuff around calling. Anybody come up with a calling statement at your table that you didn't know even existed and you had your friends around you to help you discover that?
I like guys. Let's hear yours.
Yeah, let's hear it, guy.
Bring order to chaos.
Love it. When did you come up with that? What season of life? How old were you? That's good. That's good. Bring order to chaos. Yeah. Gives you lots of options. A lot of assignments you can fit under that why statement. Yeah. Same again for me, like influencers. I can work in lots of different environments, different assignments. Could go work in the government, although, never mind. Anybody else that you want to share yours because it's so good or so bad? I'm going to get y'all to talk in this environment. I know you're talking at your tables. Yeah. Flag shirt guy again. Flag shirt guy. You changed tables on me, though. You were up here, like, looking at me, looking at my chin. Now you're back there.
There's the neighbors in the neighborhood. And so I've got a couple of adjacent neighbors that have code violations, building code. And I have a responsibility to complete a project on my own house. I've got a deadline to meet. I'm working with the building division. So I think for reputation and legacy, I should just focus on my own responsibilities in meeting code and taking care of that issue. And instead of stirring up a bunch of things and being a sore thumb in the neighborhood, I should just knock on the door and talk with them about
Good.
potential problems.
Yeah. Anybody have a blind spot they shared in your own leadership that you just realized because somebody next to you said, hey, by the way, Joe, your blind spot is this? Those are hard to share, but I know for me, like, oh yeah, go ahead.
I would say my blind spot would be at the home front to be as authentic to my wife and my kids as I try to be on the outside when I'm here. So that means to not just show the love of Christ to people I don't know, but more importantly, to show the love of Christ to the people that mean the most to me.
Yes, that's good. The people closest to you getting the best of you. Sometimes we leave the best of us for the people furthest away. And when the people up close to us get the leftovers, which is usually not necessarily what is most needed. Yeah. Calling for me, I probably came up with that idea of influencers in my 20s. But when I was in middle school and even like into high school, I wanted to be an entertainer. For real, like I want to be an entertainer. Why are you laughing, Rob? Why are you laughing at that? Come on, man. I'm being vulnerable. Trying to be authentic, and you're busting my chops over there, buddy. Yeah. Growing up in Oklahoma, we were the epicenter, I would say, outside of Tulsa, the epicenter of hip hop. So when I was a sophomore, me and a couple of buddies started a rap group called Oreo. True story. True story. You can get the picture. Like I'm cream in the middle, right? And we thought at that season of life, I was like, yeah, my why is to be the first ever Eminem before he ever came on the scene. And we rapped. We started doing like rap for, local birthday parties and functions, and we started rapping the menu on our local country station. Hello, country and western station. We were rapping the school menus, and then our state senator. You guys you're still thinking this is not true. It's so true. We didn't have a lot to do in Oklahoma. Our state senator from our district found out about Oreo. He called us up. Called our manager at that time, we had a manager, which was like one of us. Hey, I hear about Oreo, and you guys are in our district, so we're starting this anti-trash campaign in the state of Oklahoma called Don't Lay That Trash on Oklahoma. And this is like the late 80s. And he said, I would like to propose to my committee. He was on the anti-trash committee, at the state level as a senator. He said, I'd like to propose that Oreo actually come up with the rap, the jingle, the tagline, the song that will become the state anti-trash, don't lay it on Oklahoma song. And we're like, duh, Oreo, that's why we're here, changing the world. So we got to create the jingle and then go to the state capitol in Oklahoma City and rap in front of the combined legislative session of the House and the Senate. For real. For real. The night before, we went to Walmart, got some black sweats, and we got the iron-on like letters? Got some iron-on letters. We had O-R-E-O down one leg on our black sweats, champion sweats from Walmart. And on the other leg, I had Cremel, C-R-E-M-E-L, Lomenick, hello. Stage name, Cremel. With a black t-shirt and a white muscle shirt over the top of it. And that's the way we rolled into the state capitol at 16 years old. Got invited into the governor's office after we rapped, because you know how politicians are. They don't even pay attention. Things are being voted on. They're reading the newspaper. And when we rapped, it was like, and the newspapers, they were like, oh, what's going on here? Standing ovation, governor's office. We were on our way until like 6 months later, and Oreo disbanded. So the lack of my calling,
I am trying to look on YouTube.
it's not on there. There's nothing that exists. You will not find any remnants of Oreo anywhere. All of the things have been burned and removed from any internet outlets. Yeah, Oreo is dead. But some of you, you had that thing that you were pursuing when you were in high school or when you were 22, and it's great. But that wasn't my calling. That was just a fun season of life. So we're moving on to hungry now, but you got to wrestle that one down. You got to figure out. I mean, Jonathan at our table, he was saying, I don't know where Jonathan is now. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Just the idea of, hey, mid-30s, you've been hustling, working hard, but stepping back and actually evaluating your life and your leadership and your career from the 30,000-foot level compared to, well, what's the next thing? And, I got my resume out there and I got 5 offers. And so we'll move on to hungry. Hungry, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? So if humble is about sort of the internal and the inside of me, hungry is more of the expression of actually what does my leadership look like? The actual manifestation of my leadership. And I want to give you, just to paint a picture maybe conceptually from Scripture, Matthew 25, verse 14. So if you got your phone or your word in front of you, Matthew 25, 14. Matthew 25, 14. If you haven't, has everybody got the YouVersion, by the way, on your phone? One of the great innovations of the last decade or so for those of us who love the Word of God. Matthew 25, 14. You guys know this section of Scripture. For it's just like a man about to go on a journey who called his own slaves and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5, to another 2, and another 1, each according to his own ability, went on his journey. Immediately the one who had received the 5 went and traded with them and gained 5 more. Same manner, the one who received the 2 gained 2 more. But he received the 1, went away and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled. The one who had received the 5 came up and brought 5 more. Master, you entrusted 5 to me. See, I've gained 5 more. Well done, good and faithful slave. You were faithful with a few. I'll put you in charge of many. Enter into the joy of a master. Also, the one who received the 2 came up and said, Master, You entrusted 2, gained 2 more. Well done, good and faithful slave. Put you in charge of many things. The one who had the 1 came up and said, Master, I know you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you scattered no seed. I was afraid, went away, hidden your talent in the ground. See, you have what is yours. But his master answered, you wicked, lazy slave, you know that I reap where not snow, gather where I scatter no seed. You ought to put your money in the bank, and on my arrival, I've received more back with interest. Take away the talent, give it to the one who has the 10. For everyone who has, more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not, even what he does have shall be taken away. Throw out the slave into the outer darkness, weeping and gnashing of teeth. We know the story of the talents, right? I mean, we've heard that section of scripture many times. And I would just paint that as a picture for the next couple things we want to talk about. First one being this, ambition, godly ambition. Ambition. Wait, Brad, we're supposed to talk about ambition as Christian leaders? Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're here, you got some ambition in you. If you're leaning in, you're a person of ambition. So many of us, we grow up, especially again in the Christian circles, and we think, if I have any ambition, I have to sort of move that over here to the side and suppress it, hide it, make sure nobody knows that God's wired me with a great sense of like trying to be the best and pursue things, get better and constantly improve. But it has to be godly ambition. And godly ambition is simply this, that your ambition, your drive, your willingness and your tenacity to go after it and crush it, and all those things that come with ambition, they have a purpose to them. And if you can add the purpose piece to your ambition, all of a sudden things change. Godly ambition is what you're trying to chase after actually going to move the needle as it relates to God's story in your life and God's story in everybody else's life around you. Nothing wrong with ambition. Ambition is neutral, man. It's morally neutral. Gang leaders have ambition. Sex traffickers have ambition. So does Mother Teresa. So did Billy Graham. So the way we use our ambition is where it gets squirrely. Your ability to appropriately leverage and put your ambition into the right bucket to then pursue the things of God. That's where ambition starts to line up and be in the place where it should be. And I'm a type A. How many type A's in the room? Several of you. Yeah. Most type A's, they raise their hand and they look around like, yeah, come on. Type A. You got a problem with that? Many of you even didn't raise your hand, but you are. Most of us, again, there is so much drive in us to achieve, to win, to be first, to get the best grade, to be number 1 in our class, to be the top at business school. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But when ambition starts to go bad, that's when it turns into danger zone, toxicity, the places where we, just like we talked about in the first session, the moral failure happens, we get removed from that leadership position. And so, my story is such that lots of times in my journey, 25 years, and I've learned it the hard way, as many of you have, the only way I would be shaken out of the place where my ambition started to become negative was when people would actually raise it with me and say, hold on a second. You're way out in front of us, and it's all becoming about you now. I remember like when we were building Catalyst, and you guys don't know what that is, many of you, because you've never been, but in our little circle of the Christian leadership conference world, we were a big deal. Everybody sort of knew Catalyst. Oh, you guys, yeah, y'all are crushing it. You're doing amazing things. And we're up and to the right. Like we're launching more events. We're accomplishing more things. The numbers are off the chart. All the signs are healthy. Everything is up and to the right. Everything. Up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. Except for my leadership at that season. And I was becoming blinded by my own perspective that said, Brad, you got to keep driving. All these people that are now here with you on this team, they're kind of in the way, right? You matter. It's all about your ambition. We went out to Dave & Buster's during this season, Celebration Day. We're crushing it. We're getting things done. You know, the bad leader in me was sort of like, why are we going to Dave & Buster's? We have work to do. We got to get things done. We got events coming up. But the team said, no, we got to stop and celebrate. So we go to Dave & Buster's, skee ball, hoop shoot, all the fun stuff. We're there all day long, get all the tickets, right? We had a lot of tickets. And the team go to the ticket area where you turn in your tickets, the gift center. And I'm off doing something because I'm a big dog and a big deal and I got work to do. And they come back and the whole team comes back. Hey, Brad, we have a present for you. Thanks for letting us celebrate today. We have a present. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, got to do this thing now. So in the bag is a present. And I pull out, there was a couple things in there, pull something out. It's an angel doll. Why does Dave & Buster's have angel dolls in the gift shop? Who knows? But an angel doll, like with the ring and, the whole thing. And I said, what is this? They said, that's you. Like, we love you. You're amazing. You're awesome. We love working for you. You're the best leader ever. We'd follow you anywhere. That's you manifested right there. Angel doll Brad. Thank you. It's great. What else is in the bag? Devil doll. Why do they have devil dolls at Dave & Buster's still? I don't know. What is this? Oh, that's Darb. Who's Darb? Darb is your nickname. We've been calling you for over a year now. And it took all of them to confront me on this because they knew if one of them came to me, I would, Darb them up. Darb, so who is Darb? Darb's the leader we despise. Darb's the leader that's blinded by their ambition to succeed. Darb's the leader that leaves us in the ditch, sucking our thumb and not sure if we matter anymore. Darb is the leader that we never know what his temperament's going to be when he shows up. When Darb's in the office, we run for the hills. Darb was my alter ego. And Brad at his core had godly ambition. It's about others. It's about making other people around me better. Darb was blinded by his ambition. He was blinded by it. And it was one of those moments of, wow, okay, thanks guys, I guess, right? But it was so important for me in my own leadership journey because the ambition that was making us successful, that was pushing us to the top, that was up and to the right, was starting to decay and become toxic. And men, here's the reality of ambition. You can quickly go from pursuit of godly ambition to blinded by your own personal ambition. You've got to keep it on the right side of the equation. From then on, after Dave & Buster's, the two dolls, Darb and Brett, some of you right now are thinking, okay, Darb is my name backwards. Some of you have turned into your name backwards. That's become your alter ego that you don't even realize you're leading from. Bore.
I know, I always ask that.
Bore. How many times is Bore showing up in the office? But this is so important because as soon as you know it, again, authenticity, as soon as you understand, I might have the tendency to let my ambition run free, then now you're accountable to it. So from then on that day, like my assistant Michelle, she would bring both those stupid dolls in every day. And she would set them like in her little area, and then whoever was in the office was represented by who the doll was on the table. So if Darb was in the office, people are like, oh, stay away, don't go in. If Brad's in there, they're like, hey, I want to talk about this next season and my salary raise and how are you gonna promote me? But I started to think, okay, a lot more Brad, and a little less Darb. But I know Darb is always there. I can't kill Darb. And a lot of us as leaders, we think, if I've got any ambition, I got to kill it. No, you got to release it. You got to release your ambition. It's just got to be in the right direction. Godly ambition. It's in all of us. It's morally neutral, but it's got to be about other people. Don't suppress it. Don't think that as soon as you become a Christian, I got to give up all the goals of life. No. No, you just got to get it moving in the right direction. A little less Darb, a little more Brad. A little less Darb, a little more Brad. Here's the phrase I would say for ambition. You're never satisfied, but you're always content. You're never satisfied, but you're always content. Never satisfied, always content. Another thing that I think is part of your hunger posture, if you're going to stay hungry, is you got to be insatiably curious. Insatiably curious. The beauty of curiosity is that when you take an interest in other people, you automatically raise your level of influence with them. The curious people are the ones that people actually want to be around. And your posture of curiosity should be just a little short of annoying, right? Because we've been around some people who you're just like, stop, you're annoying me. Your curiosity is off the charts to the level that I don't want to be around you anymore. So you're just short of annoying as it relates to your curiosity. But the posture of curiosity is such that you're a great question asker. Everybody you run into, if you're a hungry leader, everybody you are around is a classroom for you now. They're a classroom. Everywhere you go, you're soaking it up. There's a posture that says, I haven't learned enough. John Wooden, legendary coach, remember the phrase or quote that he made so famous? It's what you learn after you know it all. That's what really counts. So whether you're at the bottom of the food chain in your job, world, career, life, or you're at the top, it doesn't matter. You're still walking into every room with, figuratively and literally, you're walking in with a moleskin or a phone or something and saying, I gotta learn. John Maxwell, again, many of you have read John's books, and John's the grand poobah of leadership. He's the guy on the top of the hill. He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, won all the awards. And I still to this day will watch John. He's now in his early 70s. He goes and speaks at some big dog event with lots of corporate leaders and lots of people of power. He gets up there and he crushes it. And you know where he goes and sits after or before? Somewhere like in the front row, if he can. And he's got the old yellow pad still out. He doesn't use a computer. He does use a phone now, which is amazing. But he's got that old yellow pad with a 4-colored pen. Remember the 4-colored pen? Some of you might even have one still somewhere. A 4-colored pen, and he's writing, taking notes. Now, all the stuff that every one of those other speakers are saying, probably they stole from him. It doesn't matter. Everywhere he goes is a classroom. I watch him on planes. I watch him with people. He just takes an instant posture of, I'm interested in you. I can learn from you. And a lot of us, when we get to a place where we feel like we're a leader, we think that now everybody should listen to me, compared to no, you're, again, just like serving. Great leaders serve. The highest level of leadership is serving and listening. You're a good question asker. And every time you ask a good question, or you just ask a question to somebody, you honor the person you're asking. So your mindset, hopefully from today on, is I want to be less worried about being interesting and more worried about being interested. Be concerned about being interested. And especially those of us who are still on the way up. The best way for you to climb in the organization is to ask really good questions. A lot of us who are older would amen that. Like the way you get elevated is you're a good question asker. You're really curious. You're insatiably hungry to learn more from people. You're a constant learner with a lean in posture. Well, what questions do I ask, Brad? Just ask one. There's not a bad question. Every time you ask a question, every time you show curiosity, you honor the person that you're talking to. And this is a shortcut, man, I'm telling you. In my 20s, I had somebody who taught me how to do this. And everywhere I went, I wanted to spend all of the time in that meeting asking that person really good questions. And you know what happened? I mean, I would show up in people's offices I had no business being in. And it's the classic, like, all right, who is this clown? Okay, we'll give him 5 minutes. Give him 5 minutes and get him out of here as quick as possible. And they're telling their assistant, make sure that, this 27-year-old, I don't know who he is, but somebody told me I should connect with him, and just come in after 5 minutes and make sure you act like I got another meeting because I want to get rid of him. And my 5 minutes, I'm just hammering questions. Tell me about yourself. Well, what drives you? What do you like reading? Who's inspiring you right now? What do you wish your team knew more about you than they know right now? And 5 minutes turns into 10, and then 10 into 20, and then 30, and the assistants come back in 5 times, and he's like, I like this guy. I never said anything. I never told him or her why I was there. I just asked really good questions. And at the end of that hour, some of you're shaking your head because you've done this. You know how powerful this is. At the end of that hour, then finally, there's mutiny. Okay, I got to go to this next meeting. Hey, will you come back? I'd love to spend more time with you. I'd love to hang out with you more. By the way, why were you here? Why am I even talking to you? Oh, we'll get there next time. That's the power of curiosity, man. You want to go earn credibility with somebody, be a really good question asker. And hopefully that's practical, something you can take away with you. More interested than you are trying to be interesting. Let me give you another one. Passion. Passion. Part of your posture of staying hungry is that you're passionate about what you're doing and who you are. Passion is your fuel. Passion is your fuel for leadership. And where does that passion come from? It comes from the source. John 15. John 15:4. I want to be passionate. How do I make sure I'm staying passionate? You guys know this verse. Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit except it abide in the vine. So neither can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same beareth much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. Where does my passion come from? As a follower of Jesus, as a man, as a leader, my passion comes from the source, which is your walk with Christ. And every time you fill up back at the gas station, then you've got the passion to go fuel you being a positive influence on people. So that's where it has to start. People say, well, Brad, I'm not really passionate because, I'm an introvert. So it's not about being an introvert or an extrovert. It's not about being somebody who likes to be in front of people, or you like to be in the shadows, or you're a real talker, or you're, pretty quiet. That's not the conversation here. Passion, all of us as Jesus followers, this is part of our assignment. We have to be the most passionate people walking into any environment we're in. Because you know what happens when we're passionate? Everybody else around us starts to also get passionate about what we're passionate about. This is your fuel, but it's also your source to change people and actually impact them in a powerful way. So bring positive energy every single day. That's one of your assignments, walking back in on Monday. Some of you are retired. You're going to still bring the same passion level to whatever you're doing in retirement. But a lot of us are walking back in on Monday to some office environment, some company, somewhere you got people around you, and they need you to be a source of passion. Bring positive energy. That's part of our job. Well, Brad, I'm I'm a man. I don't get passionate about stuff. Last time I really got energetic or passionate about something was 20 years ago. You're impacting people based on your level of passion, whether you have a lot of it or you have none of it. If you expect people to be passionate about what you're passionate about, you have to bring the energy. People feed off of you, leaders. We want our teams and our organizations and our employees to be full of life and passion for the thing we're trying to lead them in. But it starts with you. You have to be the most passionate person about your product or service. I remember the first time I went to an Oklahoma football game. And I know college football out here is not a big deal, but go with me for a second. As an Oklahoma kid growing up in the state of Oklahoma, the first time I walked into Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, 75,000 at the time seats, everybody going bonkers. I mean bonkers about this team, the Sooners. Boomer Sooner. Old ladies wearing a schooner hat and people putting on the jerseys and painting their face. Like, wow. These people are really excited about this whole game that we're showing up on a Saturday for. And then you watch those same people who painted their faces and put the jersey on and the schooner hat. You watch them walk back into, Mid-America Credit Union on Monday, and they are Danny the Downer. Well, I'm just really excited to be here on this morning at the staff meeting. Just really find a lot of joy in what I get to do every day with you all on the team. And I just hope we go out today and we play hard and we really change some people's lives here in the credit union industry. So everybody ready to go change the world today here in Oklahoma City? No, I'm not ready. You just made me want to shave my head with a cheese grater. Compared to that leader who stands up there and is full of energy and life and positive, you're pulling people along. Every time you are passionate, you're just pulling people along with you. You're a sneezer. You're a passion sneezer. Passion is contagious, man. It is. I promise it is. Well, Brad, again, I'm quiet. I'm not an extrovert like you. I don't like to stand up in front of people. Doesn't matter. Everybody's feeding off of your energy. They want to see you believe in what you're doing way before they will believe in what you're doing. This is a big part of leadership. Big part of leadership. You've got to go back to the source. Again, as followers of Jesus, as Christian men, as leaders, we got to be hooked up to the source if we want to actually have this in our lives. Let me end with one more around this idea of hungry, and it's inspiration. And passion is the fuel, and inspiration is the picture. So inspiration, I would say, is both vision and hope. And people today, man, more than ever before, we know this, like people are looking for a vision that they can believe in. We've got it right here. Like if our neighbors and our friends, people around us, captured or started to see the vision that we have for the church, for our lives as followers of Jesus, but many times they're missing it. But today more than ever, people need a vision that will help them get to where they want to go. And vision is simply a clear and compelling picture of the future that creates passion in your people. Jesus was the greatest vision caster ever. Remember Matthew 9? Matthew 9:9. Well, wait, Brad, I'm not CEO. I'm not the chief vision officer. No, you are. Every one of us are chief vision officers. Every single one of us are chief vision officers. Matthew 9:9 says this. And as Jesus passed by them, saw a man called Matthew sitting at the place of toll. He said to him, "Follow me." And he arose and followed him. Hello. Greatest vision caster ever. Follow me. And he arose. Matthew didn't, it's not sure. Let me think about it. Let me pray about it. Let me talk to my advisory team. Let me stew on that for a while. No, Jesus was an amazing, accomplished, the best vision caster in the world. Every single one of the disciples. He said, follow me, and they said, I'm in. That's clear and compelling picture of the future that creates passion in people. But vision is all of our jobs. We got to be passionate. We got to have vision. People will follow us if we paint a picture of the future that will give them a sense of passion and perspective. Great leaders are hope dealers. You're a visionary and you're a hope dealer. The best leaders, they deal hope because they're not running out of it. Hope dealers. Everywhere you go, you're handing it out. Oh, you know Joe down in the county, right? Oh yeah, every time I'm around Joe, I walk out of that cube and I just levitate. You know why? Because Joe's dealing hope. Joe's a hope dealer. Well, what about Ted down there in operations? Ted, he's a vision and hope killer. I don't ever want to be around Ted ever again because I just think that the rest of my life is useless. But Joe, man, Joe's dealing hope. People in the company start finding out about Joe and they're like, I got to go down to Joe's cube and get the good stuff. Right? Joe is dealing out the good stuff. You walk into Joe's cube and he's like, come on in and hook up to the IV. I got one right here for you. Sit down here. Let's hook you up. That's what hope dealers do. Every time somebody's around you, are they walking away inspired, motivated, encouraged, ready to change the world, ready to make a difference? Or they walk away going, boy, that was a real waste of my time. That was a real drain. Are you a life giver or are you a life sucker? Man, we got to be life givers. Not just because it's part of our job description as followers of Jesus, but because that's what people need. They're looking for hope anywhere they can find it. So your neighbor, the other coach on the soccer team, your employees, your business partner, be a hope dealer. Now, you're not hyping it up. Hope is not hype. Hype people, they just stir up a bunch of energy and nothing ever stays. Hope is long lasting. Hope sticks. Hope encourages. So again, our posture of hungry is that we're understanding godly ambition. We're understanding that we got to be curious. We got to walk into every environment, soaking it up. We got to be passionate. Bring the energy level, positive. Your passion, your people's passion is up to you. And we got to be visionary hope dealers. Visionary hope dealers. We're walking away. People are walking away from an interaction with us way better than when they showed up. You know what discouragers do? They steal people's courage. They steal it. Don't be a discourager. Your job is to impart courage. Give it. That's what hope dealers do. They impart, they insert courage into the people that are around them. That's the posture. Hungry. How will I get there? Hope dealers. Silvio, you ready? Ready. Come on, get up here. Let's go.